When it comes to improving public safety, you might not think about infrastructure, but well-maintained bridges and roads can prevent accidents and help communities respond to emergencies. Water treatment and sanitation systems protect the public's health, and stormwater management systems can prevent flooding and reduce water pollution. But will Minnesota invest in infrastructure this year by passing a bonding bill? Senator Sandy Pappas, chair of the Capital Investment Committee, shares her thoughts. Senator, welcome to Senate Spotlight.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. So something I keep hearing is this is a bonding year. What does that mean?
I think ever since I've been a legislator, it's been traditional that during the first year of session, which is the odd year, is when you determine the budget. And I think it started because it was difficult for the governor to prepare both a 2-year budget and prepare a borrowing budget for infrastructure. So they divided them into 2 years. The first year is when we set the 2-year budget, and then the second year is when we do the bonding bill.
Okay. And I know over the interim, you and your committee members traveled across the state to look at some of the bonding proposals you've received. You've previously called that situation dire. So what did you see during this tour?
We were all over the state. We will do the Northwest, the Northeast, the Southwest, the Southeast, Central, and the Minneapolis-Saint Paul Twin Cities, broader Twin Cities area. And everywhere we went, it was water and sewer infrastructure and road infrastructure. Also, there were other things that we saw. State agencies also had a need. Higher ed certainly needed asset preservation, we call it, deferred maintenance, whatever you want to call it. It's like roofs and windows and things that are falling apart. And I think we have not done a good enough job in keeping up with all those needs. And that's why I said the situation is dire. And in addition, especially our water and sewer infrastructure, a lot of that was built during the Clean Air Act, 70s. So now we're talking about it being 50 years old. And it's outdated. You need to replace that infrastructure. It's aging. And also we're discovering all these chemicals now that are polluting our water. So you have the forever chemicals. That's another problem. That's why I really think it's a dire situation.
You mentioned that part of the reason we got here was from the Clean Air Act when all of these things were brought about for the first time.
What I didn't say is, to clarify, is the federal government paid for a lot of our water and sewer systems, even after World War II. And they paid 95% of the costs. And now they're not participating in cost sharing with the new infrastructure. So that's why it's also really dire for the state and the local communities.
Was there, you kind of said that we haven't done a good enough job keeping up with it. Was there anything that we could have done to prevent this, or is it simply a fact of aging infrastructure, which will happen, and costs rising, or both?
I think it's two things. It's one, consistent large bonding bills would help, with a significant amount directed toward deferred maintenance is the expression we use. Keeping up with what we have, taking care of the buildings that we own, because it's not just state buildings. We own a lot of buildings, but it's also the University of Minnesota, all their campuses, and all of the Minnesota State campuses. We're responsible for helping them with deferred maintenance. So that's one thing. The other thing is for local governments that are now coming to us with needing help to replace their aging infrastructure. They could have been setting money aside, having a reserve fund, having a replacement fund, gradually raising their water and sewer fees to help pay for that, so that now it's not a situation all of a sudden where they're raising the fees and it's not enough and they need our help.
The governor has proposed a $907 million bonding bill. We know that won't meet the needs because you've received $6.5 billion worth of funding requests. So how do you pick and choose between the proposals you get? Who gets funded and why?
We look at several things. First of all, we want to know that the project is shovel ready, so that the money's not sitting in the bank, if you will, waiting for them to kind of get ready for the project. And we also maybe ask them to phase so that we can just fund part of a project. We will only fund up to 50% of a project, so the local community has to have skin in the game. Local communities have to set priorities. They come in, it's our first priority, second, third, whatever. And then we really look at recommendations by members. And then it's just hard to spread the money around, really, the whole state. A lot of people are unhappy.
Yeah. What happens to those projects that you can't fund? Do they have other options?
Well, some of them can get federal earmarks, but that's not a huge amount. It's usually like 1 or 2 million. They kind of bundle the money together, the city, the county. On the range, they have the IRRB that can help them. Basically, though, they do local bonding, and then they pay it off with their water or their sewer bills. So we think that, an average household shouldn't be paying more than $100 a month for water and sewer, but often it does go higher than that. So we look more sympathetically at communities that they're small, they're low income, and their water and sewer fees are already very high.
We've mentioned what the governor has proposed and then the requests you've received. If it were up to you, how much money would go into bonding this year?
Oh, it was up to me, I would do $2 billion. And I would do it every year until we get caught up. But I think it's more realistic that it's going to be $1.2 billion. That's within the Minnesota Management and Budget Guidelines. It's close enough to what the governor has suggested, because he didn't suggest any local projects really, and our members really expect that we're going to do local projects.
Where does this money come from?
Well, the $1.2 billion was also part of a kind of a handshake agreement last year, because we did a smaller bill last year. The money, we really borrow it. It's like your house. It's like a mortgage on your house. We borrow the money. And the reason for that is that future generations are going to benefit from whatever we're doing. So future generations will now take part in paying for the cost of it through taxes that go to the state or through their local water bills. But the state, we do pay for it with cash. Every year we have to pay a certain amount to pay down the debt.
We know that the state is walking a very tight rope this session when it comes to the budget. Can infrastructure be prioritized?
Yes, it can, because this is the bonding year, like we talked about originally. So it will cost us $21 million in debt this year, and then $159 in the next biennium. So out of however much we're going to spend, we have to set aside $180 million for the debt. Now this is a change, because in the past, that debt was just absorbed, what we call was absorbed into the forecast. So it was kind of spent, and it was as if it was paid for before we even saw the budget. But we changed that last year, because we didn't think that we had actually given MMB the legal authorization to put it in the forecast, and we thought it was just more upfront that we say this is how much this bill is going to cost, in the next biennium, and we have to budget for that.
When will we find out how much money is going into a bonding bill?
Well, there's 4 bonding leads, Republican, Democrat, 2 of each in the House and the Senate. And so we will have that discussion, and then we'll have that discussion with leadership. So I would expect that dollar amount, which I'm guessing is going to be $1.2 billion, that will be determined maybe right after the break.
And if that happens right then, how soon could money start flowing out to these projects?
Well, unfortunately, the bonding bill tends to be the last bill we pass, which I really don't like that. So I would like to do an early bonding bill, because the earlier we pass it, then you're right, the earlier the money can flow. But let's say that we do pass it in May sometime, then all the groups that have been funded, they have to have a contract with MMB, Minnesota Management and Budget, that explains, what the project is and how they're going to fully fund it, because the state is the last dollar in. So the local community has to figure out where the rest of the money is coming from, regardless of whether we give them what we've asked or likely less than what they've asked. So once that's all figured out, then it's a reimbursable system. So then as the local city, let's say, as they spend the money, they submit their invoices then to MMB, and then they get reimbursed for that, probably on a monthly basis.
Now, Senator, you said that part of the problem is we haven't been consistent in funding this. Why is that?
There used to be more consistency when I first came into office, where people understood that, we do a kind of a large bill during the bonding year, which is like the even year, and then we'd often do a smaller bill even during the other year, the odd year. And then at some point, it got really involved in leveraging by the minority party because it has to be a 2/3 vote. So I need all 34 of my Democratic members to vote for it, plus I need at least 7 Republicans. And I would love to have more, actually, because most of our bonding bills really heavily support rural Minnesota. When you think of all the programs that we have that go out the door, our higher ed institutions, our DNR facilities, trails, I mean, that is all in rural Minnesota, state parks, et cetera. And the local communities that we fund are often in rural Minnesota. So I don't really like the idea that it's been used as a leverage. I think that's hurt us in terms of passing bonding bills. And you know, when my party was in the minority, we used it as a leverage, and so did Republicans. So I've argued that we should negotiate within the bonding bill and not bring in outside issues. And last year, that's what we did. And so I think it got to be even a stronger bill for the minority because of that insistence that we negotiate within the bill. But that's fine, they need it. Those communities all need it. We didn't give out any money to people who don't need it and don't deserve it. So.
I've heard the sentiment that infrastructure shouldn't be partisan, and it
Right.
sounds like that's what you're saying.
Exactly.
How does that play out in your committee?
It plays out pretty well. I think mostly the difference is they use this expression called wants and needs. And so the needs obviously would be to the Republicans, the water, the sewer, the roads. Needs to urban Democrats can often be very different because we have the Met Council, we have our own water facilities, but what our communities need is a community center, you know, a park, you know, or money for a park. So it can really vary on what people think are wants and needs.
So what do you think the chances are that we pass a bonding bill with local projects this session?
Well, hope springs eternal, you know. I wouldn't want to say it's guaranteed because you just never know what sometimes can happen. That's why I don't like leaving it to the last day. Even last year, we had to go into special session, and we passed the bonding bill in the special session because we weren't quite there yet. I would like to say that if we have very good relationship with all us 4 co-chairs, and we work together really well, and we are all flexible and willing to compromise, and I think that's part of the art of legislating is being able to work with your colleagues, you know, across divides and get the job done for the people of Minnesota.
Senator, you've been chair of the Capital Investment Committee over the last several sessions.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in the committee longer, and you've been here working at the Capitol since 1984.
Right.
So you have so much knowledge of this process. How has it changed during your time here? You know, are we moving in the right direction?
Well, first of all, you have to remember, and that's a challenge. But I think that the change has happened in which the years in which the bonding bill got more divided, got more partisan, and was used as leverage. That was kind of a bad change that happened. I think we're getting away from that now and getting back to we all benefit from a bonding bill. I think that we have not changed enough in that 20 years ago, we were doing bonding bills like for $900 million, and the governor came in with a $900 million bonding bill, and construction costs have gone up, the number of projects have increased, we're funding more local projects, so that's been a real problem. But the idea, we didn't always tour either, and we used to mostly just do whatever the governor wanted in terms of infrastructure. And we didn't do a lot of local projects. So that's definitely changed. And the local communities have just come to us and asked us for help. And in 2023 in particular, when we had a lot of cash, that's when we decided to help a lot of nonprofits. And if we don't have cash, because only bonding dollars can only go to a governmental entity. So if we don't have cash like we won't this year, then we can't really help those nonprofits. And a lot of them do provide services that are very much needed in local communities. It's just the way it sometimes works, is that a nonprofit does your local homeless shelter, for example. Yeah.
Senator, speaking of changes, you've announced you plan to retire at the end of this session. That is a huge loss for us, but what's next for you?
All my friends who have retired have said, don't plan anything, don't make any commitments, just give yourself time to figure it out. So that's my plan, is not to plan. I have a lot of interests. I have a lot of grandchildren. I might still be around here, who knows? Some people have started to approach me already about possibly still working on some issues. So we'll see. But it is nice actually not to have a campaign. I can just focus on being a legislator this session and not have to worry about campaigning.
Well, I'm going to miss seeing you at the state fair, but maybe I'll see you there, just visiting.
Just visiting, that's
yes.
right.
All right. Well, Senator, thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.